Hello, everybody. My name is Kim Danke. I am the Shibboleth new member fast track instructor, and I am going over the lifestyle overview today, and I hope that you enjoy this webinar. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to hit the high points of how to follow the Shibboleth lifestyle. So it is a lifestyle, it's not a diet. And if you keep in mind that the first three letters in the word diet spelled die, it's much easier to stay away from diets and live a lifestyle where you get to have a life and get the results that you want from applying this new knowledge that you're receiving. So welcome. We're so glad that you are here. So the basics of the lifestyle are this. There are two modes in Shibboleth. The number one is weight loss mode. Number two is maintenance mode. There's only three differences between these two modes. One is simply the number of holidays that you can use in a calendar month. Two is how you eat fruit, and we'll talk about that in a second. And number three is your mindset. You might be starting off this lifestyle sort of thinking diet, but by the time you get to maintenance, we need to be switched over to that lifestyle mindset. There are two types of days on Shibboleth. We have a perfect day or a holiday. A perfect day is where you are hitting every part of the Shibboleth shield. A holiday is a day where you haven't hit some component of the Shibboleth shield. Now, in Shibboleth, we do not call these cheat days. I used to be a school teacher and a principal, and one of the things that I think about is cheating does not have a positive connotation to it, as a negative connotation. And one of the things that I've learned about in Shibboleth is that I do not have to have any type of negative feelings about food. I just need to manage on which days I have certain things. And we call those holidays because a holiday is and can be enjoyable. So how many holidays are allowed? When you are in weight loss mode, you can use up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. Once you get to maintenance, you can use up to 12 holidays in a calendar month. And you might be thinking, wow, how could I have almost half the month in holidays and still keep the results that I achieved in weight loss mode? Well, the other 18 or 19 days, once you're in maintenance, need to be truly perfect days, not easing over into okay type of days. An okay day is really a holiday. So in weight loss mode is what I'm going to talk about in the fast track program. You can have up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. And that could mean that you didn't hit drinking your water or journaling or things like that. I'll go over those right now, but we want to make sure that we hit all of the components of the shield to have that perfect day. Otherwise, we call it a holiday. Now, personally, I have learned over the years to schedule and plan my holidays according to what I have going on in my life. Anytime a new month comes up, I simply look at my calendar. I ask myself 3 questions. Am I going out of town? So I'm going out of town either on vacation or for another purpose. I typically have less control over the food that I'm going to eat. And so I want to plan for that. I can have control over it, but you might want to enjoy those days and not really have to worry about anything. So I plan for those. The next thing I ask myself is, are there any actual holidays this month, birthdays, anniversaries, or other special days that I would like to celebrate? And the third thing that I look at is on my work calendar and other personal calendar, is there anything else that might revolve around some food that I might want to take advantage of? And if so, I can go ahead and make those plans and plan for those holidays. If I then have a holiday that was just a random holiday that I haven't planned for, I am mentally trading that day for one I already had planned because I want to live within the guidelines to get the results that I am hoping that I will have with the Shibboleth lifestyle. So how do you have a perfect day? You simply follow the Shibboleth shield. After 2 perfect Shibboleth days, you get your body into what we call EFB, efficient fat burning. And I like to say EFB, baby, because it is a fun place to be. The Shibboleth Shield will actually keep you safe on a perfect day. And when I say safe, what do I mean by that? Safe from the results that you don't want, that you're trying to get rid of, and onto a new adventure. Okay. So there are 5 components to the shield, and they're listed here on the right-hand side: water, journal, combinations, portions, and timing. Component number 1 of the Shibboleth Shield is water. You want to make sure that you drink half a gallon up to a gallon of water each and every day. That is 64 ounces as your minimum, as the standard to hit no matter what, but you can always go for more. A dehydrated body will not efficiently give up fat or waste, and we need our body to be working efficiently. So we're going to drink our water daily. Component number 2 of the shield is to journal. We journal daily. If you bite it, you write it. If you nibble it, you scribble it. If you drink it, you ink it. And if you hog it, you log it. We're going to write down everything that we eat, because this is going to help us do things more mindfully and purposefully. And in the beginning, it also helps you learn the lifestyle, learn the combinations, learn your favorite foods and what categories they fall into. It's very, very important. And then after you kind of get it down, journaling is there to hold you accountable. So make sure that you write down everything that you eat. Component number 3 of the Shibboleth Shield is combinations. We're going to eat properly combined meals. We're going to eat in a way that controls insulin, aka the fat bus. Properly combined meals keep away the fat bus. Now, this is a biggie, okay? And this is a secret alert right here. And I'm going to talk more about this in just a second, but combinations is very important to learn. This is eating in a way that controls insulin. Component number 4 of the Shibboleth Shield is portions. We're going to eat properly portioned meals from a 6 to 8 inch plate using the 2-hand rule. What I love is that I carry my measuring tools with me everywhere I go. On Shibboleth, I have not had to measure food, weigh food, count calories, or do anything like that. I put a properly combined meal on my plate. I put my 2 hands together as close as possible. I lower my hands down over my food and I have a look. If I cannot see my food poking out around my hands, I have a properly portioned meal. Component number 5 of the Shibboleth Shield is timing. Now, components 1 through 4 need to be met in order for you to say that you've had a perfect day. Timing is therefore optimizing everything else that you do. Okay, I like to include how many meals you can have and what you can eat in this timing concept. So we're going to go over that right now. You can have up to 3 meals a day. Obviously, normally that would be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you are not a breakfast eater, you don't have to eat breakfast. It's no big deal. You can just skip breakfast and eat lunch and dinner. That's fine. But you can have up to 3 meals a day. It is best if you give yourself 4 to 6 hours apart between meals. It makes sense. You wake up, you eat breakfast, you give yourself 4 to 6 hours, you eat lunch, you give yourself 4 to 6 hours. It sounds like a very reasonable, balanced day, and it is. If we have a moment that Travis, our founder, calls moments of mental weakness, we can utilize freebies, an extra, or a snack. Freebies are technically that. They could be eaten at any time. But what I want you to know about a freebie is we don't add freebies to meals. Freebies are eaten in a moment of weakness. Freebies in a meal are typically a category number that you're making a combination with. But a freebie is eaten in a moment of mental weakness, not just, oh, let me fill my plate up with freebies and I can eat as much as I want because it's free. No, at a meal, we still eat what fits underneath our hands. You can also have an extra. I explain an extra like this. You're at a nice restaurant, you walk out and they have those little Andes mints as you're going out the door. It's just a bite. And typically that bite is there to satisfy our taste buds and our mind, not necessarily a nutritional need. The next thing that you can have is a snack. And you can do all of these things. Now, keep in mind that we are trying to stop grazing. There is a myth out there that we should eat 4 to 5, 6 small meals a day, and this is not accurate. This is not accurate because it is overworking our digestive system, and we never have a break to stop digesting. If you never give the digestive machine that's in your body a break from digesting, the machine is eventually going to break down. So we need to give our body a break from digesting. But I want you to keep in mind there is good, better, and best in the Shibboleth lifestyle when it comes to your timing and how much you can eat. So let's say that you eat breakfast and then you have a mid-morning extra. And then you eat lunch, and in the afternoon you have a snack, and then you eat dinner, and then at night you have some freebies. Well, to tell you the truth, that's an actual Shibboleth perfect day if you've also had your water, you wrote down everything that you ate. Everything that you ate was either properly combined or approved in the food library, and you ate it in the right way, and you didn't overeat those things. That's actually a perfect Shibboleth day, and it's a good one. And it's good, and you'll get results on that because it's different than what you were doing before. But maybe you say, you know what, I'm not going to have those freebies. I'm not going to have that snack. If I just need a little taste of something, I'll have that one extra. Or maybe you say, I'm not going to have the snack or the extra. If I want a taste of something, I'm going to have a freebie. Or I'm going to have a little bite of a freebie if I legitimately get hungry. Use some of those things. So if you take some of those little things away, that's an even better Shibboleth perfect day. Then let's just say that you get to 3 eating episodes, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Or maybe it's 2 meals and a snack, but it was just 3 times that you ate in that day. That would be an even best, one of the best Shibboleth perfect days, okay? So there's good, better, and best. And what I like about that is some days I want a little more, some days I want a little less. But if I live within the Shibboleth guidelines, I'm going to get results. Now, obviously, the more days that I have the best days, the quicker my results. So those are the 5 components of the Shibboleth shield, and we just follow them every day. So I like to say that I now have the standards of eating. These standards then give me my daily objectives. My daily objectives are to get in at least 64 ounces of water each day, hoping for more. Then I write down everything that I eat in a way that controls insulin. That could be with the combination chart. It could be using our recipe library. I could use meal replacements and even the restaurant guide, but it's eating in a way that controls insulin. I'm going to portion out my foods using my 2-hand rule, and I'm going to give my body a break from digesting and do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if I needed it, a freebie, an extra, or a snack. That's my daily objective. That's how I try to live. I found Shibboleth in April of 2019, and I wanted to lose 35.5 pounds. I lost that 35.5 pounds in about 3 months. I then went into maintenance mode, and in maintenance, continuing to live the Shibboleth lifestyle, I lost another 15 pounds for a total of 50 pounds. Now, I typically, took about 5 months. And from that point on, I have maintained within usually a 5-pound range. 45 to 50 pounds is what I now keep off, which is awesome. I have felt so much better and so much healthier since then. Okay, so let's talk about how you put together a properly combined meal. So in order to learn combinations, you simply need to know that there are 7 categories of foods. 7 categories of foods. So basically, all of your whole foods that roam the earth, swim in the ocean, grow from the ground are going to go into one of these 7 categories, along with some other man-made food and products are going to fall into some of these categories based on their nutritional profile. So in the beginning of living your Shibboleth lifestyle, what you want to do is you want to create your personal favorites list. So here's some things about Shibboleth. You never have to eat anything that you don't like, because there's plenty of foods in these categories for you to figure out what you do like and what goes in those categories, and then you build meals from there. The other thing is, no one is taking any food away from you in Shibboleth. You can eat everything that you used to eat. You're just going to manage which day you're going to eat it on. That's a holiday if you want something that's not approved. Typically, we can find things that are approved that will meet those desires maybe from before. We have approved ice cream, approved chocolate, cookies, cakes. We have approved chips. We have approved things like that. And I've switched over to many of those things and love it because I can get the taste for that, but still get the results that I want. So the 7 categories of food are listed here by number, 1 through 7, and it's got its long name, lean protein, and then it's got an abbreviation, LP. Obviously, the abbreviation is necessary because when you're making a chart, it's easier to put abbreviations on a chart than a long name. So we're going to go over that in just a second too. But number 1 is a lean protein, or LP. Category 2 is a fibrous carb, FC. Category 3 is an energy carb, or EC. Also known as, occasionally you'll hear it in the Shibboleth lifestyle, as a complex carb, but I typically call them energy carbs because that's what Travis called them when I started learning the lifestyle. Category 4 is protein plus fat, PF. Category 5 is fruit, FR, also known as antioxidant carb. And every once in a while, you'll see AC as the letters, and you'll just need to know that that's antioxidant carb, and that is a fruit. Category 6 is superfood, or SF. Category 7 is shellfish, SHF, which is really just a lean protein. Now, I've got category 1 and category 7. I consider these the bookends to the categories. Both of them are lean proteins. Shellfish used to be in category 1, but due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, some people don't want to eat shellfish, so it was just pulled out and put into its own little category. All fish is in category 1, lean protein, but all the other critters that live in water, whether or not they have a shell, they go in shellfish. All right, so that's the way to keep that differentiated. Out of these 7, there are 5 categories that can be eaten alone. Number 1, number 2, number 4, number 6, and number 7 can all be eaten alone. The reason that it's important to know that is because not every eating situation you have is going to be optimal. Maybe you go to a luncheon or an event and you are looking at all the chafing dishes of food sitting there in front of you, and you go fat bus, fat bus, fat bus, because you know it's covered in creams and energy carbs, and it's going to bring the fat bus. But then you get down to the last chafing dish and you say, "Ooh, they have chicken," or "Yay, they have steak." Eat that. You'll be safe. Okay. And I say that because it's very important. I go to a lot of luncheons for my job, so it's very important to know that I could just eat that one thing and I can still have a perfect day. I don't need to do all of that other food. It doesn't make me feel good after anyway. So the 2 that I skipped was energy carb and fruit. Energy carb and fruit must be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Now, when I started talking earlier about the 2 modes, weight loss mode or maintenance mode, I said there was 3 differences between the 2 modes. One is how you eat fruit. So when you are in weight loss mode, fruit must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And when I say it must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb, your lean protein can come from category 1 or category 7 because they're both lean proteins. But once you get to maintenance, you can have a piece of fruit as a snack by itself. So my recommendation is that you still eat fruit combined properly with a meal. But if you just wanted to eat a piece of fruit as a snack by itself, you can do that once you get to maintenance. You just shouldn't do that in weight loss mode, because weight loss mode, you have got some great goals and you're trying to keep your body, the environment inside your body, into a really high quality, efficient fat burning situation. And combining the fruit with a lean protein and a fibrous carb will do that. Once you've gotten to maintenance, if you have a little bit of extra insulin release because of a piece of fruit, that's not going to hurt you at that point, okay? So we want to keep that in mind. But your energy carbs on a perfect day, whether you are in weight loss mode or maintenance mode, need to be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So my suggestion to you would be to create your favorites lists. I would just write 1, 2, 3 at the top of a piece of paper, and then go through all of the printables that you have that have lists of foods in the Shibboleth printables. In the Shibboleth new member food library, that's a great place to start, and start listing out all of your favorites. Then you can look at the combination chart and pull some things from those categories and make some meals that you would like. Then you portion control it on a plate, and you have a yummy meal that's going to help you achieve those results. Okay, so let's talk about an energy carb. Category 3 energy carb. Let's say that you want to have some English peas. So English peas are a category 3 energy carb. And what happens when you eat an energy carb is that your blood sugar elevates. After your blood sugar elevates, your pancreas goes to work. Your pancreas will secrete insulin to regulate that blood sugar elevation. And that's fine. That's coming out to do a job. But we have now learned we eat in a way that controls insulin. So we've got to have a lean protein and a fibrous carb with that. So maybe you choose to eat chicken breast and green beans with your English peas. So let's talk about what happens when you eat that. The English peas are going to elevate your blood sugar. That could also be lima beans, that could be black-eyed peas, that could be potatoes, it could be long grain brown rice. I just chose English peas for this example. Those are going to elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas secretes insulin. But now that you know I need to eat this in a way that controls insulin, and you eat it with that chicken breast and green beans, the protein in the chicken breast and the fiber in the green beans are going to help neutralize the insulin release that came out because of the English peas. So it's really science. It is, every single bit of this is just scientific. It's like a science experiment is going on in your body every single time you eat. And you can either get a ribbon in the science fair project, or you can not even place. Let's go for that ribbon and create a really great environment inside of our body when we're eating. So let's now talk about fruit. It's the same thing. When you eat fruit, even though fruit is really good for you, it's got beautiful colors that include phytonutrients, it's got a lot of antioxidants in there. Fruit's good for you. But here's the thing. If you are in the nutritional situation that you have some stored energy on your body that you don't want anymore, we got to treat fruit a little bit differently during that time. See, weight loss mode is a tool. It's a tool to help you get to maintenance mode so that you can have fruit as a snack if you want to. So fruit should be combined properly. So let's say that you wake up one morning and you want some berries. Maybe you make yourself an egg white spinach omelet. That's just a simple little thing. If you don't like anything that I just mentioned, you find yourself something that's in a lean protein and a fibrous carb category to have with the fruit. It serves the same purposes. Now, if you want to eat a category 3 or a 5, it must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Now let's talk about the protein plus fats. See, what you want to know about that is what not to eat with a protein plus fat. So a protein plus fat is steaks, most pork products, things like that. But if you want to have protein plus fat, you should not eat it with foods that bring an insulin release, because insulin is a growth hormone that is focused on fat storage. We don't want to store new fat, do we? So let's control that insulin to stop storing new fat. So if you've eaten something that has fat in it, so it's a high quality protein, but it's got some fat in it, you just don't eat it with foods that bring an insulin release so that that fat doesn't get stored. So you're not going to eat it with energy carbs, fruit, or superfoods. Now you might be wondering, oh my goodness, why did she add the addition of that superfood in there? Because a food that qualifies to be in the superfood category has all 4 macronutrients in there. It's got water in there. And yes, on planet Shibboleth, we call water a macronutrient. It's actually the most important macronutrient, and it's a 0-calorie macronutrient. But then in order of importance, we have protein, fat, and carbs. So we don't want to eat those carbs with the protein plus fat. So I could eat, let's say I want to have some scrambled eggs. I could actually eat them by themselves if I wanted to. Let's say I go to a restaurant and I used to always eat a steak and baked potato, but I want to have a perfect day. I'm just going to switch the potato to green beans, broccoli, a side salad with approved dressing. That's what I would do to move that around. Because if you eat that classic plate of the steak and a baked potato, the potato is going to elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas is going to secrete insulin. Insulin is a fat storage growth hormone. There's some fat in that steak, and it's going to come out and it's going to store that fat. But if we don't elevate the blood sugar and there's no insulin that has come out, the fat that is in that steak is going to get used up as energy and dissipate as heat and not be stored. Science, this whole thing is science. So there's 7 categories. Your job is to figure out which foods you like in each category. Just list them out by going through all the printables and all of your resources on the Shibboleth website. Looking over here to the right, there is a combination chart. It says phase 1, first 7 to 10 days. Y'all, I don't pay any attention to any phases. I just follow the Shibboleth Shield every day using the combination charts and all of that. But it is important to understand there is 2 different combination charts. This combination chart does not include energy, carbs, or fruit. Because if in your first 7 to 10 days you were willing to give up energy, carbs, or fruit, you can get some even better results. But even if you weren't willing to give up energy, carbs, and fruit in your first 7 to 10 days, you're still having perfect Shibboleth days, even including them, okay? But this is to give you your best kickstart in the Shibboleth lifestyle. When you're looking at this colored chart, there's red, yellow, and blue. The blue column is fast weight loss. The yellow column is faster weight loss. And the red column, you are blowtorching fat like you'd blowtorch butter. That's where you want to be to have the most efficient fat burning meals. Now, the blue column, we like to call that the lifestyle column. You're going to have a little bit more options there, more flavors on a plate, that type of thing. And then the others, they just get a little bit brighter and tighter as you go along. I like to equate this as a trip to the beach. The blue column is like you were taking the scenic route to the beach. The yellow column, you're taking the highway. And the red column, you're going on the interstate. But we've all chosen to get on this journey and this drive to the beach. And we're taking these different routes. Are we all going to eventually get to the beach? Yes. We just might get there at different times. So it just depends on how many meals you are putting in from these different categories, how quickly you want to get somewhere, okay? But usually when I go to the beach, I'm not just on the scenic route or just on the highway or just on the interstate. I'm on a little bit of all of them. This is a lifestyle. So enjoy meals from all of them. But if you could have most of your meals from the red and yellow, awesome. But if you have one from the blue column too, remember it's still fast weight loss because you're combining food in a way that controls insulin. When you're looking at this combination chart, I don't want you to think you're doing any math because there's letters and numbers. There's no algebra here. And just because there's plus signs does not mean we are doing math. I'm going to read to you how I would read out one of these meals. So each one of these lines is a meal. You can have up to 3 meals a day. So you can choose any of these combinations from what you like to eat from your favorites in the categories. But let's look at this first line in the blue column. This reads, Category 1, lean protein, eaten with a Category 6, superfood, eaten with a Category 2, fibrous carb. Now that on your hands, your plate, what that might look like, you put your superfood here, your fibrous carb here, your Category 1 here, and you cover and you eat it. And there you go. When you look down at the bottom of category, the yellow column, there's two letters, MR. MR stands for meal replacements. The -2, -3 meal replacements are the best for weight loss. -2 and -3 is just another way for us to identify foods that are the best for weight loss, and that will be found in the food library. And then if you can come over here to the red column and you see 3 letters, MCT, that stands for medium chain triglyceride. And this is an oil. We're going to talk about that in just a second. In lap 6 of Fast Track, there is an advanced combination chart that's got more options than what you're seeing right here. And it will also include your energy, carbs, and fruit. All right, so let's recap. The most important rules of food combining. A Category 1 or 7, remember those are both lean proteins, eaten with a Category 2 fibrous carb, cooked up in MCT oil are your fastest fat burning combinations. If you want to eat a Category 3 energy carb or Category 5 fruit, you must eat it with a lean protein from either Category 1 or Category 7 and a Category 2. We don't eat Category 4s which is your protein plus fat, with energy carbs, which is 3s, fruit, 5s, or superfoods, your 6s. And all meat at a restaurant should be considered a Category 4 protein plus fat. Let me explain that real quick. Let's say that you would make yourself a piece of chicken breast at home. You would cook it in the appropriate oil or whatever cooking way you want to cook it. You would do it a Shibboleth approved way. But at a restaurant, they're using olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, and all kinds of other stuff that is not really approved, but we're still able to eat it. It's just that they've taken a lean protein and they've cooked fat into it, making it a protein plus fat now. And we would need to eat that with a Category 2 fibrous carb. So all meat at a restaurant should be considered a Category 4, and that will keep you nice and safe. Okay, we're going to talk about approved cooking oils. We have 4 different approved cooking oils on the Shibboleth lifestyle. And before I get into this, I really want to explain to you that Shibboleth is really just simple swaps. Simple swaps. So you are simply swapping around some things that you eat on the plate together. You're swapping around some products that you might buy at the store, maybe that you find that your loaf bread is not approved. Well, you're going to find a yummy one that you like that is approved. And you're swapping around your oils, okay? So it's just simple swaps. And once you find these things in the grocery store and once you start doing these new things and you put these into play long enough, it'll be what you do. It'll be your new lifestyle. So number 1, 100% MCT oil. The MCT is a medium chain triglyceride. A medium chain triglyceride burns like that. It has almost no propensity to be stored on your body as fat. Before Shibboleth, I was using things, vegetable oil, canola oil, olive oil. Those items are long chain triglycerides. They don't burn very fast, and they have a great propensity to be stored on your body as fat. So the number 1 recommended cooking oil on Shibboleth is MCT oil. It has a thermogenic effect, and it will help you burn a few little extra calories when you eat it. Now, the reason I don't say it, oh, drink it, put it in your food, all that kind of stuff, we use it for 3 purposes only. We don't take it as a supplement. We don't put it in bulletproof coffee. We don't randomly add it to shakes. This stuff still has calories to it, even though it burns quickly, and it's the better oil to use for cooking. But we use it for 3 reasons only. 1, cooking. And I say that like in a pot, a pan, grill, however you want to cook, you can use it for cooking. Recipes. I know that's cooking, but I just separate that out so that you know that you can think about that in recipes, and you can make approved salad dressings with it. That's the 3 ways that we use MCT oil. It should not be taken just as a random supplement. Put it in coffee or shakes and things, okay? Medium chain triglyceride burns quickly, and that is one reason that you won't have your body continuing to work on gnawing on a long chain triglyceride. See, a long chain triglyceride doesn't burn quickly, and it's an easily accessible source of energy, but it doesn't burn quickly. So this is a source of energy, but it burns quickly. And then after it burns off, your body can get on to store burn and stored energy. But if you're having the long chain triglycerides, it's just taking a long time to break that down, and that slows down the process of getting to stored energy, which is what we want to truly burn off our body, not stuff we just put in. We want our body to have to access stored energy. You could also use coconut oil. Coconut oil is 66% MCTs. So that's not 100%, is it? It's 66. 100% MCT oil is kind of like all the MCTs have been pulled out of a coconut oil or a palm oil. Most of them come from coconut oil. You can also use ghee butter. Ghee butter is just butter. It's just been clarified, meaning all the milk solids have been pulled out of it. Ghee butter is about 25% MCTs. And I see that used a lot with cooking shellfish, or maybe buttering up a grilled cheese, or in cooking, but you can use ghee butter. And you can also use 0-calorie cooking spray. So I have some little ways that I make decisions. If I am cooking a lean protein, I use 100% MCT oil. If I am cooking a protein plus fat, I use 0-calorie cooking spray. I use ghee butter when it calls for it in recipes, and I don't use coconut oil a whole bunch, but you can. All right. Oh, one tip about the MCT oil, please cook on medium to low heat. It does have a low smoke point, and it can set off your smoke detector, and we don't want that to happen. So just kind of watch what you're doing with your MCT oil. All right, let's start to wrap this up. We want to remain in EFB as long and as often as possible. So we are striving for perfect days, but planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. After a holiday, it takes 2 perfect Shibboleth days to get back into efficient fat burning. And you will see those little icons created on your weekly timing chart in your account, and you can keep up with where you are. When our body is in EFB, it will burn stored energy, which is fat. It will burn that as the energy that we need, rather than easily accessible sources of energy, such as unapproved oils and starchy and sugary carbs. What is the fat bus? The fat bus is insulin. Insulin is a growth hormone. It is a fat storage growth hormone. Insulin also increases appetite. It'll send it off the charts. Have you ever eaten some macaroni and cheese and then all of a sudden wanted ice cream, and then you wanted some chips, then you wanted a cookie, and then you wanted a pickle, and you're like, oh my goodness, this has gone out of control? Insulin. After an insulin release, fat storage will occur for up to 48 hours, meaning you're out of efficient fat burning. It takes about 48 hours for that insulin to dissipate out of your body. That's why it takes 2 perfect days to get back into efficient fat burning and get that insulin out of the way. After the fat bus has been on its rounds, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into EFB. So it's your first week. What are you going to eat? Simply make a list of your 7 favorite lean proteins from either category 1 or category 7. Make a list of your favorite fibrous carbs from category 2, and then just mix and match something from each category to make some meals. If you have some MCT, then use it to cook it up in, and you'll be eating yummy meals. We recommend the Zero Drag brand of MCT. It is sold at myshibboleth.com/shop, and you can search for Zero Drag. Sherry, I can get it out to you in just no time at all. Throw in a few meal replacements for simplicity. Y'all, if you were eating Pop-Tarts before, you got to know what type of quick and easy thing is going to work for you now. And we can find that in the food library. But throw in a few meal replacements for simplicity. My favorite meal replacement in the very beginning was a Mighty Muffin. I ate about 20 Mighty Muffins in my first 20 days as I was learning this lifestyle. Keep it simple in the beginning and then branch out as you continue to live and learn the lifestyle. So the 5 components of the shield is what I would put into play every single day. Those are the new habits that you're trying to cultivate in your life every single day. So keep it simple in the beginning, because then those things are going to start to just become natural to what you do. And then you can branch out. You're going to see in our Facebook groups what other people are eating and doing. You're going to see all kinds of ideas, and you're going to start trying those too and add those to your repertoire of meal ideas. So take advantage of our awesome resources that I'm going to teach you in Fast Track. And welcome to the Shibboleth family. We are so thankful to have you here, and I will see you in the next video.